Have you ever finally sat down to rest only to feel guilty about it? Maybe your body is sitting on the couch, but your mind is still making a list of everything you should be doing. There are people to call, messages to answer, events to plan, meals to prepare, problems to solve, and somehow resting feels almost irresponsible. If you've ever struggled to truly rest as a pastor's wife, I want you to know something. You're not alone. In fact, I think this is one of the greatest challenges women in ministry face. Today, we're going to talk about why rest feels so difficult and how changing your mindset can change everything. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Susan Belisle, and I'm a life coach for women in ministry with more than 2 decades of experience as a pastor's wife. I help women in ministry navigate the unique challenges of ministry through mindset renewal, emotional wellness, and practical tools so they can thrive in both life and ministry. Today's topic is incredibly personal for me because for years I struggled with rest. I believed that if there was work to be done, I should be doing it. And here's the problem: the work is never finished. There is always another phone call, another counseling appointment, another event, another class to teach, another crisis, another family in need. If we're waiting until ministry is done before we rest, we will never rest. And that's exactly why we need a different mindset. One of the unique challenges of ministry is that there is no finish line. Unlike many jobs, ministry doesn't end at 5 o'clock. People still have needs. Life still happens. Emergencies don't follow office hours. And because the needs never stop, it's easy to believe I should always be available. I should always be doing something. I can rest later. But later never comes. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is this: God never intended for us to finish all the work before we rest. He intended for us to rest while the work remains unfinished. That requires faith, my friend. You see, sometimes we confuse our value with our productivity. This was a big one for me. Somewhere along the way, I began believing the more I do, the more valuable I am, the busier I am, the more faithful I must be. But busyness and faithfulness are not the same thing. Our culture applauds hustle, but God invites rest. Our identity isn't built on what we accomplish. It's rooted in who we are in Christ. When we understand that, rest becomes an act of trust instead of guilt. Pastors' wives often carry emotional burdens that don't belong to them. We feel responsible for the church, our husband, our children, and maybe grandchildren, our volunteers, our congregation, our community. Eventually, we're carrying everyone else's concerns. No wonder we're tired. One question that has helped me tremendously is this something that I am actually responsible for? Or is it simply something that I care about? Those are not always the same. Sometimes we don't rest because we're afraid. We fear letting people down. What if someone needs me? What if someone thinks I'm lazy? What if people are disappointed? The truth is, someone will probably be disappointed, and that's okay. Jesus didn't meet every need. Jesus disappointed people, yet he remained perfectly obedient to the Father. Here's the truth: we can love people deeply without saying yes to everything. I think it's fascinating that God didn't simply suggest rest. He commanded it. Why? Because he knew we would need permission. Sabbath reminds us that the world keeps turning even when we stop working. God is still God when we rest. He's still taking care of his church. He's still building his kingdom. We're not holding everything together. He is. Friend, I think this may be the heart of the issue. Rest isn't just physical, it's spiritual. When I refuse to rest because I believe everything depends on me, I'm placing myself in a position only God can occupy. Rest says, God, I trust you with what I cannot accomplish today. That's an act of faith. Over the years, I've had to become intentional about Sabbath. It doesn't happen naturally for me. There will always be another email, another project, another ministry to tend to, another person who needs something. I've had to remind myself that stopping isn't laziness. It isn't lack of caring either. It's obedience. And I've discovered something beautiful. When I come back after genuine rest, I'm more patient, more present, more joyful, more creative, more compassionate. Rest doesn't make me less effective. It makes me healthier. Let me leave you with a few practical ideas. First, schedule your Sabbath. Don't wait until you have time. Protect it like any important appointment. Second, expect unfinished work. This one changed my thinking. Instead of trying to complete everything, accept that there will always be something left undone. The goal isn't finishing everything. The goal is being faithful. Third, disconnect from ministry. Turn off notifications, avoid checking email, create space to be fully present with God, your family, and yourself. Next, do something that restores your soul. A walk, reading, coffee or tea with your husband, gardening, time by the water, whatever fills your cup. Sabbath isn't simply about stopping work. It's about making room for delight. Remember that rest is part of your ministry. You don't rest because you've earned it. You rest because God designed you to need it, and it's His gift to you. Remember, healthy leaders lead from overflow. Friend, if you've struggled with rest, please know you are not failing. Many women in ministry wrestle with this. I certainly have. But freedom begins when we stop asking, how much more can I do? And begin asking, what kind of life is God inviting me to live? I believe He's inviting us into rhythms of grace and peace, not constant striving. If you find yourself trapped in the cycle of overworking, people pleasing, carrying everyone else's burdens, or feeling guilty whenever you rest, I'd love to help you. As a life coach, I work one-on-one with pastors' wives and other women in ministry to help them identify the thought patterns that keep them stuck and replace them with healthier, life-giving ways of thinking. Together, we'll create practical strategies so you can lead from a place of peace instead of pressure and truly thrive in both life and ministry. If you'd like to learn more about coaching with me, you'll find all the details in the description below. I'd be honored to walk alongside you. Friend, the work of ministry will never be finished. There will always be another opportunity to serve, another person to help, another need to meet. But your soul wasn't designed to live in constant motion. God isn't asking you to carry His kingdom on your shoulders. He's asking you to walk faithfully with Him. So this week, here's my challenge for you. Take one intentional step toward rest. Protect an afternoon. Turn off your phone. Take a walk. Spend time with the Lord. Or simply sit and enjoy His presence without feeling the need to accomplish anything. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me what makes it hardest for you to truly rest as a woman in ministry. And if this video encouraged you, please like it, subscribe, and share it with another pastor's wife or woman in ministry who needs this reminder today. Until next time, remember, you don't have to earn God's love. You don't have to earn your rest. And you don't have to carry what only God was meant to carry. I'll see you next time.